So for the final exam part 2, it was fun to go back through the slides, look at all the things I had learned that I knew, but that I kind of forgotten about. And so yeah, class number 1, the introduction. I liked the joyfulness and the competence chart that talked about your future career and what you should do, and how you should do something that makes you happy and not only that you're good at. Class number 2, the good life. I liked the Pan Am versus the Duchenne smile. I just didn't know there was a difference that was defined between the two different types of smiles, and so I just thought that was interesting. Class number 3 was on flourishing. I like the signature strengths and how we learned about how you can use your signature strengths to create a good life. I thought it was interesting that we each have these signature strengths, and if you use them, your life will be better. Class number 4 was on authentic happiness. I liked how we talked about gratitude and how it improves positive memories. I thought that was super cool that gratitude was something that scientifically could make your experiences better. And we're always taught the gratitude, but it was just cool to learn the scientific side of it. Class number 5 was the how of happiness. I like learning about habituation with pleasures and how you need to space out your pleasures, and you shouldn't just addiction is when you don't space them out, and then you become more and more addicted and you can't get enough of it because you don't space them out. Class number 6 was on positivity and love. I like the positivity ratios. I thought it was cool to kind of put a number to positivity and the Losada ratio, the Gottman divorce ratio. I just thought it was super cool. Class number 7 was on flow. I actually have read a book about flow and about getting into the zone for sports. And so I thought it was super interesting to relearn again the different elements and steps of flow. Class number 8, meaning and achievement. I like the hedonia versus eudaimonia, and just the difference in how it's feeling good versus doing good, and how doing good really makes you feel better, even though feeling better in the moment isn't what makes you feel better in the long run. Class number 9, happiest places. I just thought it was interesting to there were defined happiest places on Earth, and learning about them and how some of them were in Mexico. Obviously, Denmark was number 1, and it's the different places and how they what they did differently, each of them, to be happy. Class number 10 is why we do what we do. The thing I liked was the factors that increase and decrease your motivation. Like if there's competition, then obviously that decreases your intrinsic motivation. I just thought it was interesting to learn about the different factors that play into that. Class number 11 was the self-determination theory. I love learning about relatedness and how if you have something that's related to you that you have a personal tie to, then you'll be more self-determined to do it. Class number 12, time famine. I liked learning about how much we actually work in America. It's actually kind of crazy how much we are working and how many hours we have and how little vacation time we have. And so I just thought it was interesting and something I wanted to improve on. Class 13, take back your time. I like Brigham Young's 8-8-8 quote about 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of play, 8 hours of work. The digital age, class 14, I like the difference between loneliness and solitude because I really like solitude, but not loneliness. Class 15, intentional family. I like learning about the different phases of rituals, the transition phase, enactment phase, and then exit phase. Family rituals, class number 16. I like learning about the male and female differences in relationships and how they both saw it. Class number 17, Last Child in the Woods. I liked talking about the gift for enthusiasm and how if we have enthusiasm for nature and we make it a part of our lives, then it will become a part of our children's lives. Class number 18, the experience economy and experience staging. I like learning about the different types of experiences. You have ordinary experiences, memorable experiences, meaningful experiences, and then transformative experiences. And it was just super cool that there was different types of experiences that create different types of memories. Class number 19, fostering empathy. I liked learning about how to correct someone with an outward mindset because a lot of times I don't do that. And so it was just super interesting to learn about that and kind of repent on the inside and know that I need to change and do that better. Class number 20, design thinking. I thought it was super interesting that quantity is better than quality in your ideas. That you just need to have a lot of ideas and not necessarily good ideas. I just thought that was interesting because I would not have thought that. Class number 21 was designing your life, and I thought it was interesting talking about what we're passionate about and how you have to try something to be passionate about it, and not everyone is just born with something they're passionate about, but you have to try stuff. Class number 22 was wayfinding and odyssey plans. I thought mind mapping was really cool, and how you could come up with new ideas by mind mapping and creating this big map of things in the outer ring, had different ideas that maybe you hadn't thought of before. Class 23 was prototyping. I just liked learning about prototyping conversations, and how you ask certain questions about what they love, why they love it, how they got to this point in their life, and I just thought it was interesting instead of asking them basic questions about their career. And then class number 24 was choosing happiness, and I just liked the study about the jams and how if there's like 3 to 4 jams, people would buy them because there's not a whole lot of choices. But if there's a lot of different jams, there's lots of choices, it's hard for them. So I think the making like 3 life goals or life options, and it's easier to choose between them because there's only 3 or 5. That's it.